Here's a table with all of the letters of the Greek alphabet. The way you're going to actually learn the sounds of these letters is by writing out the names of each letter using Greek letters. So you'll do that in the next assignment. So let's go through these. First up, we've got alpha. Sounds like the first sound in alpha. Sounds like an A. Next, we've got beta. Sounds like the English letter B. Gamma sounds like a G, but it's kind of a soft G. Next, we've got delta, which sounds like an English letter D. Epsilon sounds like a short E, so like get or wet or bet. Zeta sounds like Z, so you've got zebra or something like that. Eta sounds like a long E, like in the word hay, so the A sound. Theta sounds like a TH. You probably recognize that one from geometry. Iota or iota sounds like the English letter I. And this can be a short I, as in big. It can also be a long I, as in ski. What it never sounds like is the long I, as in smile. Kappa sounds like the English letter K. Lambda sounds like the English letter L. Mu sounds like the English letter M. Nu sounds like the English letter N. Xi or Xi sounds like the English letter X, or you can think about it as a KS sound, like X. Omicron sounds like a short O, like aw, as in log or dog. Pi sounds like the English letter P. I'm sure you remember that one from geometry. Rho sounds like the English letter R. Sigma sounds like the English letter S. Now with sigma, you'll notice there's two different forms here. You've got closed sigma and open sigma. The open sigma is also called a final sigma because that's just the form of the sigma that comes at the end of a word. So a sigma can show up anywhere in a word, at the beginning, the middle, or an end. But when it's at the end, it looks a little different. The way I think about it is I imagine that the closed sigma is kind of scrunched up because there's letters coming after it. And then when there's no letter after it, but there's a space, then the sigma sort of falls open and it becomes the final sigma. You can think about it however you need to, but just know that there's no difference except in the appearance. Tau sounds like the English letter T. Upsilon sounds like an oo sound. So something like food or mood. You can remember that because it's the first sound of upsilon. Phi sounds like an English letter F, just a circle with a line through it. Now with ki, I've got ch as the transliteration. That's not the ch sound in English. It's just k. For all practical purposes, it sounds just like a K. So think about the word key in English, which starts with a K. That's the sound you're going to do. On the mathematical pronunciation, it sounds identical to the kappa, but you would transliterate it with the ch. Psi sounds like a PS sound. That's where we get a lot of words like psychology from, with that PS combination. So the way you pronounce it is by actually pronouncing both of the sounds. Ps. In English, the P is silent, but in Greek, you pronounce the P. So ps. That's psi. And then we've got omega. Omega sounds like a long O, as in logo, or the word no. So those are the sounds. In the following assignment, you've got a worksheet that requires you to write out the names of each letter and take them from English and put them into the Greek letters. So this will really help you get the sounds together and figure out what the sound of each letter is. So as an example, if you wanted to write out the word alpha, you would start with an alpha, and the next sound is a lambda, like an L, al, and the next letter would be phi, and another alpha at the end. So alpha, alpha, lambda, phi, alpha. So you're going to do that in this next assignment. Now in this chart, I've got the vowels shaded for you. So the vowels are alpha, epsilon, eta, iota, omicron, upsilon, and omega. I'll also point out the letters that drop below the line. So beta, gamma, zeta, eta, mu, xi, rho, phi, chi, psi, and sigma all drop below the line. So most letters like alpha or delta will sit on the line, which is right around the bottom of the beta here. But then beta has this little tail that drops down below the line. Same with gamma and so forth. Now there's a couple letters that are really easy to confuse when you're getting started. First, the Greek letter rho is not the English letter P. You're going to look at that rho and you're going to want to say P as the sound, but that's not what it is. It sounds like the English R. The Greek letter pi or P is the one that sounds like the English letter P. So if you look up at the chart, you've got pi and rho are next to each other. You've got P and as the sounds. Next, eta is not the same as the English letter N. Nu sounds like N, but not eta. This is really easy to confuse because the eta looks almost identical to the English letter N. But the way you tell it apart is this tail that drops down below the line. And speaking of nu, it can actually be easily confused with gamma. Gamma has a tail, though, that drops below the line. That's how you tell them apart. Other than that, they look pretty similar, but gamma, of course, sounds like a G, nu sounds like an N. Finally, zeta and xi. These two letters are really weird looking to English speakers. The way you tell them apart is that the zeta has one loop and the xi has two loops. Now, it's helpful to know that every word in Greek ends in either a vowel, a nu, a rho, or a sigma sound. So the sound of a sigma, basically you can also have a xi because it has a x sound and a psi because it also ends with a sigma sound. So those are the words, or those are the letters that Greek words can end with. There's a couple exceptions like ek, which means from, or uk, which means not. But those words are going to be easy enough to learn because they don't change with the grammar.